Our overall goal for the simulation was to be the leading bike manufacturer in the market and to create customer value and gain customer trust through creating high quality yet relatively affordable products. We wanted to enable the long-term success of our business. So in the first couple of rounds, we were doing pretty good and we were profitable from the start and we gained a significant market share. However, as the rounds progressed, our competition became more competitive, and although our profits and sales increased every round, our market share fell each round simultaneously. By the end of our simulation, we had the worst reputation, the second lowest market share, and lowest employee morale. So we started at the top and we fell to the bottom.
While completing the simulation, I was in charge of managing the marketing aspect. Our goal for marketing was to make customers aware of our products and differentiate them from our competitors. In the beginning, we wanted to have an operational centric strategy by producing the same products as our competitors, but selling them at a lower price to generate a larger portion of the market share. This strategy was successful at first, but fell short when we realized that our rebate was too high and we were making negative profits per unit. Seeing our mistakes, we quickly fixed this problem for the next quarter, but we failed to keep a hold of the market share with a higher price. In the second half, MNGMT Incorporated kept falling short in all aspects of business. Our customer found our products to be less reliable than others, and we did not have enough advertisements to be well known. Overall, our product quality fell short, and more could have been done to get the brand name out there in order to be successful.
My role in the simulation was to take care of the sales channel. After every round, we would open a new store in a new market to expand our reach and increase our sales. When opening each store, we would allocate 4 employees to that store. However, once we opened all 4 stores, we began adding more employees to improve our customer care and service at our best performing branches. Our strategy was to operate in all 4 markets, thus maximizing our reach and profits while also minimizing our risk through diversification.
Throughout this simulation, I was in charge of human resources, and overall, our human resource strategy was very successful. Our main goal for this department was to incentivize workers to stay with our company, and through this human capital, we would be able to drive up sales and profits based on the dedication of our workers. As we learned in class, funding a business takes a lot of time and effort, and paying employees is one of the biggest expenses, so we wanted to make sure that we paid our employees appropriately while being conservative with our funds. We approached it by looking at prior data and numbers and carefully crafting salaries, benefits, and compensations that would satisfy the workers in each department. In the first half of the simulation, we had an overall satisfaction rate of 76.3% in the production department, which was the second highest satisfaction rate for this department. In the sales force, we had the highest overall satisfaction rate of 79%, and we were said to be the best place to work out of all the companies. Our satisfaction rate in the second half was very high as well, but was lower, which could have had many factors involved. However, this did not hinder the overall performance of our company. In this simulation, I was also in charge of our manufacturing strategy, which also performed very well. In the manufacturing department, we were able to use projections to create capacities and further project future demand. Our production facilities was able to have a good fixed capacity and produce a sufficient number of units, but there was still room for improvements in all areas of manufacturing. We learned in class that lowering costs, specifically variable costs, can lead to higher sales and better profit margins, but fixed capacity and costs cannot be changed, so it's important to work around them. So by tailoring the projects to more accurately meet demand allowed us to save money through cutting overtime and decreasing any excess processes that hindered a good production system. Our ending result in manufacturing led us to have a 95% utilization rate of our fixed capacity, with only 5% of that being unused. We also performed well in production productivity and had the 4th highest ranking production across all teams without overtime and the 3rd overall production with overtime. The results were as followed: 85.5%, and again, 85.5%.
Our group utilized numerous financial strategies throughout the duration of the simulation. As time progressed and our sales began to increase, our approach began to alter to incorporate our growing business. One of the leading financial plans we used was managing cash flow by carefully tracking and monitoring all spending. As a new company, we looked at many different one-time startup costs that we were not able to avoid. Through the duration of the simulation, we kept a close eye on both production expenses and marketing expenses with the intention to minimize unnecessary cash outflows. As a new business, it is imperative for us to limit our fixed expenses so we are able to allocate the majority of our capital to growth because our top priority is generating revenue. Like many new businesses, it took us a little bit of time to begin to see profitable quarters. For the first 2 quarters, we were slightly in the red, but as of quarter 6, our net income was just north of $500,000, leaving us with a very strong net profit margin of 21.5%.
I think the biggest challenge and biggest surprise we ran into was losing our market share round after round and losing our demand to our competitors, and we found it really hard to compete with them. We also faced the challenge of sometimes stocking out due to not producing enough uh, to meet our demand. So these were the two big challenges we faced. And as for losing our market share and competing with customers, we tried to resolve this by continuing to invest in our company and improve our products and also change our prices to be more competitive. And as for stocking out, we began to produce more, and this helped us meet our demand in the next rounds.
I think our team performed very well throughout this whole simulation. As of the second quarter, our company had the second highest market share overall at 24%. We also had the second highest market share for all three product segments. We ended up having a total loss in the first few quarters due to allocations of funds in areas that were not necessarily needed, and we also had some demand issues such as selling out of certain products. So if we were to run this simulation again, I think it would be very important that we constantly evaluate ourselves, competitors, and customers. Through this, we will be able to understand the wants and needs of this industry, and we'll be able to form a better corporation overall. We also need to focus on areas that cause the greatest loss of money, such as marketing strategies, pricing, and manufacturing. When we do this, we will be able to alter our performance and meet the needs of the customers, ultimately driving our revenues and profits up. Although we had losses, we did have a high market share, which is very important in managing a business. If we were able to keep this high market share as well as change some strategies to drive up profits, I think if we were to run the simulation again, we would have a very high performing company.
This simulation has allowed our team to experience what it would be like to launch and sell a product. It gave us insight into all of the important functions of a business like marketing, sales, HR, manufacturing, and finances. It also taught us how to generate steady revenue in a business by analyzing financial data from our bike store and seeing what areas of business we can improve on. It also showed us that every business owner will have challenges that they need to face. It is important to recognize those challenges early on, or else it will end in failure. I think that aspect is something that my team really learned while falling short at the end of the simulation. One lesson that we will take into the real world is that understanding how a business operates is not as straightforward as we think it is. It's going to take hours, just like our simulation did, or even years to get things right.
Overall, our team really enjoyed participating in this simulation. Running a new business can be extremely challenging and overwhelming at times. This project was able to walk us through some of the many aspects and provide us with the knowledge to run a profitable business. As a team, we found this to be a very interesting and fun project as it gave us the opportunity to experience the creation of a new company. The simulation was laid out in a very easy way to navigate and contained sections to help us when we did not understand a specific aspect. All in all, our group enjoyed participating in the project.